speaking from Fitchburg, Charlie Seelig, Manager of Marketing, Small Steam Turbine Department.
Perhaps some of you will remember back in 1948 when the Small Steam Turbine Department came into the districts to introduce the DP single-stage turbine line. Then in 1951, sales engineers were presented the story on the new multi-stage turbines. Now, two of our teams from Fitchburg are in the districts with a brand new program which we call the Profitable Power Program. Here were some of the team members rehearsing the program, which is designed to increase your selling effectiveness. The program includes some of the following elements.
Well, there's complete information on the large existing market potential for mechanical drive turbines.
There are sales tools specifically designed to present complete information on turbines.
There's also a practical evaluation of selling points that Fitchburg turbines have, making them superior to competitive turbines.
Add to this support and backup in these target industries: chemical, petrochemical, petroleum, pulp and paper, and utilities.
Each program will also have a showing of the Profitable Power film entitled A Report from Fitchburg. This film points up the modern factory in Fitchburg. It's an interesting pictorial presentation of the manufacturing techniques and quality checks that go into these mechanical drive turbines to ensure your customers' profitable power. The team will also cover the product story, giving you the scope of the mechanical drive turbine line, such as turbine front ends, turbine exhaust capacity, and high-volume flow units. But perhaps the highlight of the program will be the sales portion, where you will receive a sales kit specifically designed to help you get orders. The kit will contain brochures on our major market areas: petroleum or petrochemical, pulp and paper, and utility, giving you background information for effective selling. There's also a workbook that takes the mystery out of mechanical drive turbines, and a pricing method which we call the 6 easy steps to pricing a turbine. These are only a few of the items contained in the Profitable Power program. Your turbine specialist has arranged for our visit to your district, and we are looking forward to meeting with you and your customers.
At Schenectady, J.T. Farrell, Marketing Manager for the Medium AC Motor and Generator Department, discusses the new Type 2 weather-protected motors now available in ratings of 250 horsepower and larger.
10 years ago, we were the first motor manufacturer to introduce the weather-protected motor for outdoor service. Since then, all of the major motor manufacturers have followed suit. Now, we in Mack again take pride in introducing the first basic redesign of these weather-protected motors. A redesign that offers your customers better weather protection, improved appearance, and simplified maintenance. The primary customers for these new motors are the electric utilities, pipelines, refineries, chemical plants, and other heavy industries that use large motors out of doors. These relatively few industries are served here in Mack by a group of development, engineering, and manufacturing people whose only business is working on the requirements of such customers. Thus, we can give them better motors suited specifically to their needs. One tangible evidence of this is the new weather-protected motor. To make sure that your customers know of this new motor, we have done a few things to promote it. Last fall, we started touring the districts with a demonstration trailer. In addition, we are producing ads, and shortly we'll have a new full-color bulletin. To help you with your sales presentations, your motor specialist or product sales manager has a complete set of slides and script about the new motor. This new plastic model top section is also available to you. Now, let's take a look at the new weather-protected motor.
This new line incorporates several new product features important to your customers, in addition to giving greatly improved weather protection. Note that the air intakes are near the top of the motor. This helps keep out trash and dangerous heavier-than-air gases. The redesigned top section makes use of side intakes and exhausts to prevent recirculation of air and at the same time allows closer side-by-side mounting of units. A new end shield arrangement permits inspection and cleaning of windings through access ports without disturbing the rotor alignment. The bearing housing itself is supported by heavy T-section gussets cast as a part of the end shield, and there are many more features. This motor takes less floor space, has neoprene gasketing throughout, and a split bearing design to simplify maintenance. It can also be fitted quickly with removable filters. And remember, this motor not only meets the new NEMA standards for a Type 2 weather-protected motor, it exceeds them. From Roanoke, Otto Wantzelius, Sales Engineer, Industry Control Department.
We have another industry control first. A new, simple, and rugged adjustable speed drive. The Inductrol DC drive controls a standard kinematic DC motor over a wide speed range from an AC power source. The three-phase AC power comes into the controller through the transformer to the Inductrol, which is basically a variable ratio autotransformer. The adjustable output of the Inductrol is then rectified and applied to the motor. The motor, the industry control panel, and the motor-operated Inductrol will be sold as a system. One of the outstanding features of this drive is its simplicity. The Inductrol is a time-proven device known for its ruggedness and low maintenance. The silicon rectifiers are conservatively rated for long, trouble-free life. Speed adjustment is smooth and stepless. Regulation, efficiency, and power factor are inherently good at all speeds. The DC ripple is small and constant. Speed ranges of 30 to 1 by armature control are easily obtained. Any adjustable speed drive in the 40 to 100 horsepower range, not requiring pump back, and now using Ward-Leonard, wound rotor, ACA, or eddy current coupling drives, should be examined as a possible application for the Inductrol DC drive. A good example is the drive for small, web-fed newspaper or magazine printing presses. We are presently looking at several other applications. One of these is for synthetic fiber spinning, where we would be replacing an ACA drive. Another is for cement kiln drives, where we are now using a Ward-Leonard system. Here's what you can do to help us sell this new drive. Find the customers in your district that use or purchase 40 to 100 horsepower adjustable speed drives. Let us go over any application you think has possibilities. We are prepared to give you the kind of support you need to sell your customer, so start inquiries rolling in.
At Schenectady, the Medium AC Motor and Generator Department introduces its new vertical ASC line. This vertical single-phase high-frequency generator will be used to power induction heating furnaces. It's water-cooled and rated at 100 kW, 10,000 cycles. The small AC Motor and Generator Department also has a new ASC vertical line of similar design, rated at 100 kW and below. The new vertical ASCs offer space savings because they're lighter and smaller than many competitive models. They also eliminate lineup problems found with horizontal generators, and there is no need for base construction. Additional features include protective devices such as surge protection, ground detection, and overload. Orders for these new generator sets can be accepted now. However, Mac wishes you to contact the factory for best delivery promises. Mac intends to sell these new vertical ASC generators to the industrial heating and melting industry, which includes our General Electric plant in Shelbyville.
I'm Ken McDonald, Manager of Heat Processing Equipment Sales of the Industrial Heating Department. Most of you are familiar with the electronic type induction heating equipment, which we have offered for many years. Now we have supplemented the electronic heaters with the motor generator type, enabling you to offer a complete line of induction heating equipment. Let's discuss some of the inherent benefits of the MG sets for induction heating applications. These benefits include the following: lower first cost, higher power ranges, deeper heat penetration, low voltages, greater efficiency, less floor space, and simpler maintenance. As you can see, it's quite a list, but it's not surprising because we've been pioneers and leaders in the field of induction heating for 25 years. But the motor generator phase of this business has been limited. Now that picture has changed. In mid-1957, we decided that it was necessary to become more active in this field. Thus, the new full line of motor generators as well as electronic-type induction units. Incidentally, this added market is 7 times greater than the market for electronic equipment. Your customers will be the steel, auto, farm equipment, business machine, small arms, appliance, brass working, and aluminum working industries, as well as their hundreds of suppliers and subcontractors. Your principal competition is Westinghouse, Taco, in brief, the same as you have had in the past. But you've got an advantage, and that's a complete line of competitive induction heating equipment backed up by a new interest and an aggressive approach by the Industrial Heating Department. That's the story. For complete details, contact your industrial heating specialist or the Industrial Heating Department in Shelbyville.
This is Leon Kelly with news about the Rectifier Department's new product of the month. Recently, you have heard about the department's 3 new DC power supplies for airborne and missile ground support applications. These transformer rectifiers have been placed on the market to meet the requirements of missile support DC test power, military and commercial aircraft, components in ground support equipment, and of OEM's manufacturing equipment for aircraft applications. Now the Rectifier Department announces a brand new member of the family. This is a 100 amp 28 volt silicon transformer rectifier. With an efficiency of 83% and a power factor of 90%, the new unit betters military specs. It will take a 500% overload for 15 seconds in addition to normal overload requirements. And the unit's high-temperature fan motor and molded terminal board mean increased reliability throughout rugged service. Adding this transformer rectifier to the 3 previously announced means another entry for you into the airborne and missile ground support markets. You've got the 200 amp silicon transformer rectifier, which weighs 17 pounds, the 200 amp missile support unit weighing under 70 pounds, and the 1 amp airborne DC power supply weighing under 14 ounces. And now the new 100 amp unit takes its place with the others in your product library. See GEA 6690 for a complete description of airborne and military DC power supplies, and start selling them to your airborne and missile ground support markets.
Highway lighting is the subject as Outdoor Lighting's General Manager Joe Bailey chats with North Carolina Director of Highways William Babcock.
Mr. Babcock, with a couple of thousand GE men looking in, I'd be the last one to try to put words in your mouth. But on the other hand, I think it's safe to say that lighting is an important part of your design for highway safety in North Carolina.
Well, let me say, Mr. Bailey, this, that as the new Director of Highways, and particularly as one who has been in traffic engineering for some 20 years, I'm greatly appreciative of lighting. I'm fully cognizant of the relationship of lighting to safety on the highway, and it's certainly our intention in North Carolina to do what we can to use lighting, particularly in our urban areas where it has been a proven thing as far as improving highway safety and highway efficiency.
Occasion for the get-together is a civic ceremony in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, marking the opening of a new expressway. Bailey presides at the first turn-on of lights, GE Mercury Luminaires. The 3-mile stretch is the latest addition in North Carolina's 714-mile highway construction program, which will tie in with the projected national highway system. Lighting some 3,000 of the more than 40,000 miles will represent a $90 million market over the next 13 years, according to General Manager Bailey.
The ceremony that we participated in this evening is the kind of thing that's going to be repeated time and time again around the country in the next 15 years. The 41,000-mile federal highway program is really getting underway. In 1957, some 1,200 miles were completed and another 2,000 miles were started. We expect that in 1958, this pace will be doubled. And so the program is underway and the job is there for you fellows in apparatus sales. We're trying to do our part in the outdoor lighting department. The first tool that we've sent you is this highway lighting manual. Here for the first time we have a complete simplified layout for the highway job with specifications, recipes, and the whole story in one place. We hope that you're using this with your customers. Now, in addition to this, we are going to have 4 regional conferences this year so that you will be able to bring your consultants, highway engineers, to a convenient story on modern highway lighting. We had a very successful meeting at Hendersonville in February. This was attended by many state and highway officials, and the word is getting around, and they are getting the facts on General Electric outdoor lighting. Now, don't forget the Crossroads of Light. This one-of-its-kind sales tool at Hendersonville has been visited by more than 1,000 customers in 1957. There, in one place, you and they can see all kinds of modern street lighting and can get the whole job done at one time rather than to visit 2 or 3 different cities on different nights in the week. Our sales force at headquarters is ready to help you. Bob King and Jim Doughton stand ready to come out to the field at any time to go through the details of our program and to help you sell your customers. You'll be hearing regularly from Ernie Wendling and from Bob Swackhammer about the interest in the CID portion of this, as well as the user or utility interest in the Federal Highway program. We're prepared to give you all kinds of assistance, and we're looking forward to you for your complete support, and let's get out and get GE's share of this new highway program.
Here's more about products from the Outdoor Lighting Department. It's the Mackinac Straits Bridge in Michigan. Construction began in May 1954, and the bridge was opened to traffic in November 1957. It's 5 miles long, making it the longest suspension bridge in the world. There are a total of 124 Mercury streetlights on the structure itself, including the approach from the south. There are another 124 such streetlights on the approach from the north and at the toll plaza. Fixtures are 30 feet above the roadway, and poles are spaced at a maximum of 160 feet. High and effective light levels give drivers added safety when traveling at night. But outdoor lighting is not the only evidence of GE on this bridge. There are also ballasts, constant current transformers, distribution transformers, low-voltage air circuit breakers, and fuse cutouts. At Mackinac Bridge, the longest suspension bridge in the world, an example of the huge available market for highway lighting. Another project where General Electric equipment plays a major role.
And that's all for this issue of Apparatus News.
Hold it! Hold it! Yes, by all means, hold it. There's more. Not much more, but more. We're going to change the newsreel. It won't come out as often, about once a month from now on. But it'll be twice as good. You're going to like the new look in the newsreel. New look, newsreel. Tell them about the personalized customer films. Oh, in each coming newsreel, there'll be a section which you will receive separately. It'll be personalized for customer showings. And there'll be some humor in your new newsreel. There'll be a lot of useful sales news. More application information. More engineering information. And successful sales stories. See the next issue and look for the new look in the newsreel. You like that line, don't you? You betcha. and you'll like the coming issues of the newsreel. They're being designed for you with your needs and recommendations in mind.
Good morning, gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to welcome you to Schenectady. Both Mr. Wyman and I were extremely disappointed to learn after we had completed the plans for this press conference that we would both be out of town. Rather than inconvenience you, however, by rescheduling this conference, we have set it up in such a way that you will receive all the information we could have given you had we been here personally. This year, the motor and generator industry celebrates its 50th anniversary. This photograph reminds me that it was in 1908 that 25 motor manufacturers met in Richmond, Virginia, and organized the American Association of Electric Motor Manufacturers, the earliest form of today's National Electrical Manufacturers Association. This photograph reminds me of something else, and that is the firm faith in the future demonstrated by these Americans 50 years ago in the growth capabilities of American industry. In view of the uncertainties which have been troubling business and government leaders in recent months, I can think of no more fitting manner for General Electric to participate in this 50th anniversary, and at the same time of demonstrating its own faith in the future, than by opening the new and highly modern motor facility which you will see today. This facility is only one part, of course, of a much broader program in which General Electric invested over $150 million in facilities in 1957 in order to be better able to meet the needs of its customers. We in General Electric know full well that there is nothing automatic about business growth, plentiful jobs, and general prosperity. Businessmen have to do something to bring this about and to ensure the continuance of these blessings. Today, therefore, I would like to mention at least three things which we in General Electric have done and will continue to do to provide a realistic basis for our faith in the future. First, we can invest in the research and development which will be a major factor in maintenance of the vitality of the national economy. As recently as 1940, all American industry spent for research only $100 million per year. In 1957, it spent over $7.5 billion, and the electrical manufacturers taken together have been high on this list. General Electric, for instance, spent 3 times as much of its sales dollars on research than industry in general. Here in Schenectady, for instance, we have put in place a new motor and generator laboratory devoted exclusively to the research and development of electric motors and generators. This laboratory translates developments in new magnetic, conducting, and insulating materials which originate in our company-wide research laboratory into practical design criteria which our engineers can turn into lighter, smaller, and more efficient motors and generators. The second thing that we can do is to intelligently anticipate and even to some degree direct the needs of the market through market research and development. The growth of the motor industry in the past was due largely to industry's need for mechanization. In the future, we see the continued extension of mechanization and, in addition, the more modern need for automation as the foundation for our motor business. This curve shows the increase in total industry motor sales from 1 horsepower up since World War II. My own personal prediction is that this will increase by $200 million, or 30%, by 1961. That's only 3 years from now, as a result of a growing economy and the continued trend toward automation. The third thing that we in General Electric have done and will continue to do to keep pace with the growth in size and complexity of our markets is to pursue our policy of progressive decentralization. Since World War II, General Electric has decentralized its industrial motor business from 1 horsepower and up into 6 separate motor departments, each with its own decentralized management focused on the specific demands of one segment of the business. Since Mr. Wyman is general manager, Of the newest of these decentralized motor departments, the small AC motor and generator department, I think you might like to hear Mr. Wyman himself describe the market trends and needs which brought his department into existence and upon which is founded his personal faith in the future.
Thank you, Jim. I want to welcome you, gentlemen, to the small AC motor and generator department, and thank you for being with us today. You will see today the new factory facilities that we have installed to produce our new line of 40 to 125 horsepower ratings. This, together with our product redesign, represents an expenditure of roughly $7.5 million. As Mr. Crawford suggested, we would not have set up this new and separate department, nor would we have made such sizable investments in facilities if we had not taken into careful considerations the needs of our customer and the trends which indicate how we can better serve them. I would like to comment briefly on these trends as we see them. One trend that became quite evident several years ago was the growing requirement of our customers for more horsepower in smaller frame sizes. We reacted to this trend, as you will recall, with our Building 85 program in 1956. We showed you then how we were set up to manufacture on a highly automated basis the new 7.5 to 30 horsepower line of Triclad 55 motors, which corresponded to the new smaller frame size standards which had recently been proposed by NEMA. The years 1956 and 1957 saw the big motor switchover by industry to these smaller motors in 7.5 to 30 horsepower ratings. At the same time, NEMA was at work preparing standards to extend these smaller frame sizes up through 125 horsepower. Last April, we were the first manufacturer in the industry to announce the availability of all ratings of Triclad 55 motors to match these new, smaller frame sizes. A second obvious trend, not peculiar to the motor market by any means, is the need for holding down costs. Our new facility represents a major step in this direction. Less than a third of the units required in the 40 to 125 horsepower ratings today are standards. The rest are specials. The design of our new facilities, therefore, boiled down to finding an economical answer to the manufacture of specials. A threefold answer was evolved. First, we designed standardized components which could be produced in volume and assembled in various combinations to meet a wide variety of motor requirements. Second, by designing the facilities at the same time as the product, we were able to effect economies that would not otherwise have been possible had either the product or the facilities been already in place and therefore inflexible. Third, by investing heavily in automatic materials handling equipment, we were able to realize important savings in this area. General Electric motors have, of course, always been designed with high performance margins for a given nameplate rating. We believe that the economies I mentioned will enable us to continue to produce high-quality motors, but at lower relative costs. You may be interested to learn that we are now able to more accurately allocate costs between classes of motors, and this fact causes us to anticipate a third trend: greater preference for standard motors by our customers. Historical cost differences between these standard and special motors are widening considerably because of the greater labor, material, and engineering costs in producing specials. As these wider cost differentials are reflected in selling prices, I would expect to see standard or nearly standard motors replace many historical applications of special motors with high engineering content. The fourth and final trend that I would like to call to your attention today is an outgrowth of the peculiar nature of our business. This chart, which shows how total industry orders for motors in these sizes have varied since World War II, will give you an impression of the highly cyclic nature of this business due to the varying inventories that motor purchasers carry. As demands for their products increased, they attempted to increase their inventories for future protection. With the short manufacturing cycle built into our new Building 81 facilities, motor users in the future will be able to secure delivery on special motors much more rapidly than in the past. Thus, we believe that many of our motor users will decide it is no longer necessary for them to carry large inventories. This should lead to increasing stability of employment. The four trends I have discussed underlie our optimism in the future of our business. The small AC motor and generator department employs about 1,500 people, and despite the large number of developments to improve productivity, which we have underway or are planning for the future, we fully anticipate that our employment levels must continue to rise. Although some forecasters are predicting lower business levels for 1958, we believe that motor orders in the 7.5 to 125 horsepower ratings will roughly equal 1957, and that orders for 1959 will be even higher.